Being responsible does not mean that everything bad that happens to you is caused by you. Making the assumption that you yourself are the sole cause of all negative experiences can be incredibly damaging to you. This doesn't mean that you don't learn from your mistakes. It just means that you don't allow your mistakes to ruin your mental well-being. You are responsible for how you respond, what your next action will be, or how you interpret the experience, but not necessarily the cause of the experience itself. It does not even matter if your conclusion or interpretation is true. Your mind does not know the difference. If you interpret the cause to be you, your energy goes down. If you externalize it, your energy goes up. Remember that sales is a pure energy business. So as long as you keep the energy high, you will recover faster and sell more. Second, tell yourself that the rejection is a specific occurrence and do not let your brain interpret it as having any long-lasting or extended significance. Take it for what it is, that a particular person does not have a particular need for your particular product or service at this particular time. Here is the formula for dealing with a negative situation. Memorize this. 1. First, a problem occurs. It must be actually happening, like leaving your suit coat at the airport and realizing that you've forgotten it only after the plane has taken off. Or perhaps a prospect tells you that he no longer has a need for your product. 2. As soon as you discover the problem, you'll experience a flash of some sort of emotion. This must act as your alarm bell, telling you to be aware of what comes next. 3. The dialogue in your brain begins. 4. Within seconds of the dialogue starting, you must override it by asking yourself, what am I saying to myself right now? This question forces your brain to answer, and then you step outside yourself and observe the internal dialogue. 5. You must first identify the real emotion, anger, frustration, disappointment, and so forth. Ask, what is it that I am feeling right now? Once you have identified the emotion, say the words out loud. Aha, it's frustration. You can shout this out or whisper it depending on where you are and how you feel. 6. Within about 10 seconds, you can usually recognize that you are using a universal descriptive word such as always, never, every time, all, or every. For example, this always happens to me, or I'm never going to get this. 7. Upon recognizing the universal word, you should pause, put it in check, smile, and say, there it is. Spotting the word or words is 95% of the battle toward instant recovery. The smile lightens the load and raises your energy level. 8. You must then mentally correct the universal words with something specific like, this time. It just so happens that. It turns out that. Or, in this case, it didn't work. 9. You should then spot the internal directive. I, me, my fault. What is it about me, why me, and so forth. 10. Smile again and say, there it is. Then find some way to lay blame, justify it, or blow it off to logical circumstances. This part can be fun and humorous to do. That guy was in a bad mood today. With a toupee like that, it's no wonder he's having a bad day. The competition was lucky this time. Hey, there's room for all of us. 11. Then, based upon whatever you told yourself, quickly create a stack of facts and evidence to justify what you told yourself. I was tired from 24 hours of traveling and a bit burned out when I set down my jacket somewhere in that airport. Or, that guy was nice every other time I talked to him. It was just today he was a jerk. 12. Most important step. Ask yourself this question. How do I really want to feel right now? Optimistic, happy, excited, strong, confident, and so forth. Ask the question to yourself and then try to actually get that feeling inside. If you cannot, think of an experience, vision, or episode that'll bring a small smile to your face. Once you do that, then hold the feeling for as long as you can. Seconds, minutes, hours. This will shift the energy all around you. This is the magic part. Do not ask me why it works. Just do it. I have found that once my emotions or feelings begin to change, everything else does too. 13. After all of this, you should tell yourself to expect a good thing to happen soon. And then, it does. The phone rings and someone from LAX calls to tell you your jacket was found. Or you'll get a call from a long-lost prospect who wants to see you. This whole process takes about 1 minute maximum. To sum it up, if something negative happens, you have to know how to tune into your internal dialogue, how to trap the little voice in your head and steer it toward award-winning conversation. This technique is critical for generating sales at any level of business. It is critical to have a winning attitude about life. Have fun with adversity. 3. Celebrate all wins. Responding to success when the wins start happening, or when anything positive happens, is an important two-step process. First, you have to get to celebrate the win. A physical anchoring of the win with a high five, handshake, clenched fist, or verbal yes are all methods that most of us are familiar with. As a sales dog, I suggest you at least give yourself a pat on the head or release a big howl at the moon. These methods drive the moment deep into your mind, your spirit, and your body for permanent strength. The cementing of that moment builds momentum for the next task. Over the years, I've seen the most phenomenal shifts in people, organizations, and performance as a result of continual acknowledgement and celebration of wins. If you have ever watched sports on TV or even played yourself, you will know and accept that celebration is part of the game. Every time a player scores a point, gains a few yards, does something well, gets a hit or makes a catch, instinctively, the rest of the players give him a high five, a pat on the back, a headbutt, not recommended, or something to acknowledge his contribution. There is no way a player in the NBA can score a basket without getting a high five. That is why they are so achievement-oriented. Of all the techniques, this is probably the most powerful, yet least used by adults, because adults get embarrassed and think it's childish or unprofessional. This technique of celebration is foreign to most people, but second nature to high achievers. It also has to do with trapping the little voice and steering the dialogue in the right direction. And remember, it doesn't matter if what you're saying to yourself is true or not. Your body and mind do not care. Part of this dialogue has to do with how to make the event filter into all areas of your being and own it for yourself. Handling success is the absolute opposite of handling setbacks. If something good happens, such as a prospect agreeing to an appointment or receiving any positive sign from the client, not only should you celebrate it as I mentioned, but to really build momentum, you have to use it to become a legend in your own lunchtime. Tell yourself that because of this success, your whole week is going to be great. You can see how everything in your life is going to be successful just because of this tiny event. Finally, it is important to internalize it by telling yourself that the success happened because of you. You earned it. You worked for it. You are smart and you know this stuff. Get the picture? Your energy and momentum will soar, and all sales dogs know that the greater the energy, the greater the next success. You may not be aware of it, but you already know how to do this because you did it with your kids, with your pets, and with yourself in other areas of your life. Imagine if you treated your whole life that way. Your energy and your results would be incredible. Bone for managers. Your pack of sales dogs needs to celebrate its wins too. As a matter of fact, the smarter the breed and the more aggressive the dogs, the more you have to bury them in lavish praise to ensure good performance. If neglected, or if only scolded for poor behavior, sales dogs can get mean and nasty and may even turn on you one day. You must celebrate wins early and often to make them great hunters and companions. 4. Project the power of your personal intention. The mastery of this technique is critical to forming a high-power sales team or organization. It is also the secret to reducing stress on the job, creating inspirational leadership, and most important, obtaining personal wealth. Learning how to project your intention of yourself and others can be the difference between frustration and riches. Let me explain it in dog terms. When a dog takes off after a squirrel, a cat, or a ball, it fully intends to get it. There is no trying involved. It is just doing. When they go up to you with their tongue hanging out and drool dripping on your shoes, they fully intend for you to pet them. No question about it. That is their intention. If you as a sales dog think that you're going to charm everyone you meet, you probably will do better than you think. However, if you think that you're going to be a nuisance to the prospect or that you're going to be boring, you probably will be. That is intention. Learning how to project your intentions and expectations can be the difference between wealth and frustration. In other words, what do you expect the response to be from your next presentation? Will they think you're a rookie? Will they think you're truly there to help them find new solutions? Will they like you, hate you, think you're a nuisance? What do you think that they will think? What is your intention? Research shows us that whatever you believe the response is going to be will help to predetermine what the real response is. If you think that you're going to be a pest by making a sales call, you may very well be right. If, however, you think that you're going to be a welcome messenger of critical information, you may be right as well. Your mindset helps to predetermine the results. Not too long ago, my son Benjamin, then age 4, had a dilemma. We were in Singapore during one of our overseas trips, and we were staying in a serviced apartment complex in the city. We've stayed there many times because it has a great location and a big pool, and there are always lots of kids for Ben to play with. This place also has a game room with a pool table. Ben loves to play pool by rolling the balls without using the stick. The pool table requires 2 $1 Singapore coins. Ben knows this. On this day, he'd earned his $2 by setting and clearing the table and was excited about playing pool later. Before going to the pool room, we went down to the swimming pool to catch some sun and a little exercise. In typical sales dog style, Ben spotted the soda machine and went for it and bought a Sprite and a Coke. Happy with his purchases, he came back to Eileen and me with his goods. We explained to him that he had just spent his pool table money on the drinks. After a convoluted discussion that only a parent can understand, he was faced with the dilemma of 2 drinks that were now not nearly as desirable as his beloved pool table. A few moments later, I heard a loud pounding sound. It was Ben trying to shove the cans of drink back into the machine in the hope of getting his money back. After calming him down a bit, we made him realize that his only option was to somehow exchange the drinks for money. The light went on, and you could see his little blue eyes survey his territory with laser-like precision. Young couple, poolside, lock and load. They had no chance. I do not know to this day if they even spoke English. He raced over to them, set the cans down, and began his pitch. I could not hear anything as he was too far away, but I watched in amazement. They obviously understood that he was offering the cans and that he wanted money in exchange. And judging from his gestures, I think he was also explaining why he needed the money. At first, they shook their heads, but his intention to sell those drinks was undeniable. From the outset, there was no fear, no hesitation, no fear of looking foolish, only the pure intention to get them sold. I watched from a distance and laughed to myself. What a sales dog. Ben had the mindset that he would not be denied. Finally, I watched in proud disbelief as they handed over the cherished coins. Ben even offered to open the cans for them so they could enjoy the drinks immediately, showing traces of the retriever. With coins in hand, he happily skipped back to us to tell us with delight of his accomplishment, leaving 2 refreshed customers in his wake. That is intention. He had no doubt that he would sell those things. Months later, he's still that way. He will persist and never give up because he knows that sooner or later he will find a chink in our armor and we will agree to his requests. All kids are sales dogs. Bones for managers regarding expectations and intentions of others. What is your expectation of your kennel? Whether you ever communicate it or not, that expectation will show itself somehow or other. Your intention or expectation of the performance ability of others will also partly predetermine their results. If you were to rank each of your sales pups with a number from 1 to 10 in terms of their potential for success, what would those numbers be? If you ranked someone with a 3 or 4, you have already, in part, predisposed him or her to that level. It will show up in your management style and attitude and in their performance results. Unfortunately, this also happened in school for many of us. Teachers hung invisible numbers on our foreheads. What numbers were hung on you? Did you believe them? It is a rare sales dog who overachieves what his or her master expects. Be careful of your intentions and expectations. Training for the hunt. 5 critical skills for sales dog success. For years, a classic argument has raged through sales conferences, has been debated around water coolers, and has inspired countless books. Are great salespeople born or made? This debate is as old as sales itself, but my heartfelt observation is that every child comes into this world learning to ask for what it wants and needs. First for mere survival purposes, and then for things like love, affection, cuddles, and later Pokemon, PlayStation 2, and your car on a Saturday night. Every child can sell. You can sell. We are all born to sell. I believe that everyone has the natural talent to sell. However, We lose that natural ability through conditioning and the seriousness of life. Most of us have been fed a ton of conditioning about the evils of sales by those who lack the basic self-determinism to be able to say no. They fear being manipulated and taken advantage of, so they portray anyone who does sell as a money-grabbing, morally corrupt charlatan. So to answer the question, are we born to sell? I believe that we are all born great salespeople, but we lose the talent by the time we get to adulthood. So many of us must simply retrain what we already instinctively know. It may be true that not everyone can sell everything, but based upon what breed you are, you can sell something. So now you know your breed and have learned to recognize the breeds of others. You now know the rules to follow to keep yourself out of trouble and in the money, and you are ready for the next step in your evolution. To become the blue ribbon winner that you deserve to be, you must master the basic skills for sales dog success. There are 5 critical skills that every sales dog must master in order to be a great hunter. 1. Mastering the art of referrals. 2. Delivering powerful presentations. 3. Tapping the desire to serve others. 4. Managing the personal marketing versus selling formula. 5. Handling of objections or rejections. Good sales dogs are strong, committed, and above all, keep things dog simple. In other words, this is not rocket science. 1. Master the art of referrals. The number one reason that people are intimidated by sales is the dreaded cold call. So why not just avoid ever having to make them? Great sales dogs work best with an introduction. While the poodle can schmooze at parties and network on sheer instinct, and the pit bull can kamikaze the marketplace with a napalm-like barrage on anything with a pulse, the rest of the kennel are generally a little more subtle when it comes to the delicate art of referrals. There are 4 types of referrals. The first is the best kind. The quality of the referral decreases as you go down the list. 1. Friend gets prospect to call you. Charm of the poodle. 2. Friend tells prospect you will call him. Easy for the retriever. 3. Friend tells you who to call and allows you to mention that he or she referred you. Basset hounds and chihuahuas are comfortable with this one. 4. Friend gives you a name, any name. Good enough for the pit bull. The key is that the introduction must include a personal endorsement, just one positive thing about you, not just the product or service you're offering. It doesn't have to be a dissertation or an epic biography, just a positive phrase about you. John's a good guy. You should listen to what Sally has to say. She really knows her stuff. I trust Paul. He tells it straight. This simple one-liner is critical because it gives you trustworthiness and initial respect. These qualities are the secret ingredient to successful referrals. The bottom line is that people do business with people they like and people they trust. The product or service is often secondary. If you are already pre-qualified to fit into the like and trust category, then your chance of success is just skyrocketed. You are no longer the scrounging mutt or flea-infested nuisance that you would have been. You have just become a pedigree sales dog, and someone well worth taking a call from, and well worth actually listening to. I generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in speaking and training fees alone, and 90% comes from referrals. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on advertising and promotion. My return on that investment is terrible in comparison to the return on investment I get by making sure my existing customers are happy with their training results. The ultimate referral is the quality of your reputation. It speaks for itself. Investing time with your existing customers will usually generate 10 times the rewards of other activities. Check in with them on a regular basis to make sure that they're happy and performing well, and referrals will snowball until you have so much business you can't keep up. There has never been a successful network marketer who did not understand the importance of referrals. If you are a person who puts money in other people's pockets by training them, coaching them, and encouraging them, people will find you. Referral and testimonial etiquette. For those of you with pit bull in the blood, make sure that if you're going to hound someone, you don't bother the potential prospect. He doesn't know you yet, and it won't take long for you to burn up the benefits of the referral and get demoted back to nuisance scavenger status with all the other dogs on the block. Instead, keep reminding the person who promised to give you the referral because he already has the rapport with the prospect and he already knows you and likes you. Make asking for and seeking referrals part of your sales dog mindset, and you will never have to sell cold to a stranger again. But remember, it's a fine line between requesting help and becoming a pest. You need to carefully manage your referral streams, taking care not to poison the waters. If they think you are a nuisance, why would they ever send you to their friends? There should also be a tangible reward to your customer for a successful referral. It could be a simple thank you note, a bunch of flowers, a book, or treating him to lunch. The best reward you can give is returning the favor and sending a good referral for his business. When you're first getting started, sometimes it's hard to get referrals. This is the time to tap your closest resources to get things going. Get your good clients, friends, or associates to write you some glowing letters of support and satisfaction. If they're too busy, you write the letters and simply have them read and sign them. Keep a collection, make copies, and when you want to call on someone new, send him a handful of appropriate letters as an introduction. If possible, choose letters that the person will relate to, letters from someone in a similar industry of business. Although you are not technically being referred by someone, you are proving that you have helped people like him in the past. It's also extremely important to treat referrals with a deep sense of service and commitment. This comes naturally to the retriever, but can be a challenge for the pit bull. If you receive a referral from a client or friend, it's critical that the referred prospect has a good experience. This isn't the time for a hard sell or high pressure, or it will quickly get back to the person who gave you the referral, and it will be the last referral you receive from your contact. However, if you can come up with an excellent solution to the referred prospect's needs, you might very well end up with another key source of referrals. And now the endorsement gains even more momentum. I was referred to him and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I highly recommend you do the same. If you are a new pup, use testimonials directed at your company, your sales manager, or your industry. Though not as powerful as personal testimonials, they can be effective as well. Don't know where to turn to get a referral? Ask your best customers whom to call upon. If you are new to a territory, contact long-standing existing clients and ask them if they know of someone in need of your services in your new area. Some of your clients and friends might be extremely well connected, and they often will be more than willing to plug you into their system. They know that at one point they had to start from scratch as well. Remember, it is an energy business. The more you network, the more you will get things rolling.